Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our debut episode of the much-awaited Pluribus Season 1, created by the mega mind, mega master of television, Vince Gilligan. I'm your host, Mario Busto, alongside
the other host, Zachary Newton. Welcome back.
We're back. We've reunited after a month apart. We are estranged podcast hosts. Yeah. We haven't seen each other's faces in a month. No, I'm just kidding. We've talked in between then, but we've been dealing with some stuff, namely Slow Horses season. What season was it?
It's 5. I think it's season 5.
Season 5 kind of stank,
matter, right?
It kind of stank. It kind of threw a giant monkey wrench into the equation. So I was left to cover 2 shows, Alice in Borderland and Task, which both of them were pretty excellent in my opinion, at least. And you can check out those solo pods. We also posted like an archived pod of me breaking down a romance that dropped in the summer. I think it's called The Map That Leads to You. We posted that about a week and a half ago. So go check those out. As always, make sure to subscribe to the pod. But we are going to be covering Pluribus episodes 1 and 2. And we'll be dropping the 3rd episode. We'll be doing this one episodically for season 1. The whole way through. So episode 3 will drop later on within the next week. So without further ado, let's get into it. Zach, what are you doing? How are you doing? And yeah.
I'm doing all right. I am on the tail end of a cold right now. So I've been, hopped up high on Dayquil and NyQuil every day this week. So there's been that, but I'm really loving this show. There's only been one other show that I've been digging recently, but we'll get into that later, maybe in the after pod. How about you? What you been up to? It's been so long.
I've been doing 3 things pretty much the last few weeks. Working my tail off. I've been pretty busy with work.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
Thank God. 2, been playing Arc Raiders Arc Raiders. And 3, I don't know what 3 is. Probably just been watching sports. I was really into the World Series before it ended, and kind of sad that baseball's gone right now. And yeah, it's pretty much it. I've been waiting kind of just to be able to sink my teeth into something good. And I think Pluribus is it. I have some concerns that I'll be bringing up in this podcast.
Okay.
I know we have the super special Apple official podcast that you all can go listen to as well, the companion podcast for this show. So please do. I guess we should probably listen to that too, although we never really do.
I thought about it. I did for All Mankind, or not For All Mankind, Foundation. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, this one's not going to be the BTS, everything that happened behind the scenes and how they did that shot or anything like that. It's just going to be, if you're used to our podcast, we're going to be breaking down our own takes on what's going on in the series, what we like, what we don't like, and where we think it could go. As you know, we are, if you're not new to the show, we are huge Breaking Bad fans. We are big Vince Gilligan fans. So I've had Pluribus circled on my calendar for over a year, probably longer than that. The moment I knew that he had a mysterious sci-fi show already greenlit with Apple TV. And that's kind of old news for anybody who pays attention to that stuff. So it is finally here. I am surprised at the tone of it. I was not expecting it to be what it is. I went into it blind. With things that I love, I go into it blind. I don't watch trailers. I haven't watched the Stranger Things trailer. All these things, I just stay away from it because I just don't want. I just want the pure experience. I feel like in 2025, there's such an overabundance of like finding out every single little detail about something that's gonna come out, and I don't know. I just find a freshness, a beauty to just experiencing it for myself, thinking about it for myself, not having someone else tell me what to think about it, but actually, form those thoughts for myself and have my own first impressions rather than someone else's impression that is regurgitated.
Yeah, it's like all of those leaks with, any Apple event or Google event or whatever. It's just like, I try to stay away from it because I want to be surprised. I want to be excited. By what comes out and what gets announced. I don't want all these spoilers, and that's just what it is. So I've been the same way. I have avoided anything with the hint of Pluribus on it, like it was the plague. The only thing I had seen prior to this was that gal licking the donuts, and I was just like, dude, I don't
Yep.
know what I'm going in. What is it, eyes wide shut or whatever. Just no expectations at all. And I'll tell you, this first episode, great episode, by the way, great episode. I just didn't know what to expect. I was like, is it horror? Is it sci-fi? Like where are we going with it? But I think by the end of the episode, I was pretty sold on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that kind of combination of like it goes from straight up sci-fi horror in the pilot, which I do like doing this thing in my own head of stacking up all the all-time great pilots of shows throughout the years. I have my list. I have my Thanos gauntlet of pilots, so to speak. And it's pilots specifically. We're not talking about episode ones of a season. We're talking about like the pilots, premiere of a series.
Yeah. Very first episode of the entire series ever. Yes.
On my personal list, and everyone can kind of start thinking about theirs of what it is. I have Walking Dead season 1, episode 1. I thought that was just a barn burner out the gate. Mad Men,
yep.
season 1, episode 1, insane. Breaking Bad.
Favorite.
Breaking Bad season 1, episode 1, when Walt is in his underwear and and he's got the gun and he's just looking out in the distance and you hear sirens and you don't know if cops are coming towards him. That. I can't remember Game of Thrones, but I think Game of Thrones was also fire. And then most recently, Last of Us season 1. I would have to say, pound for pound, best pilot ever if you didn't play the video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us season 1, episode 1 is insane, like insanely good. So that one might be an all-timer for me too. But Pluribus episode 1 was fantastic. I mean, it was like it could have been I was watching I watched it by myself, and then I wanted to subject my parents to the horror of episode 1. So I went in and made them watch it. I gave them nightmares. And my dad said this could have been its own film. Like episode 1 itself could have just been its own standalone film.
Yeah.
And in a sense it was, because the tone of it is so different from episode 2. Episode 2 is borderline comedic. At certain points, how Vince Gilligan's able to kind of like tightrope that line between comedy and drama and thriller all at once. And episode 2 is a dramatic slowdown. It is a dramatic change of pace to the series. And I still feel like the way he does his shows it is very much a slow burn. It is very much what will the conflict emerge to be here? Yes. One of my chief concerns with the series at the moment is it does feel like the whole show feels like a giant metaphor and statement on society to me. Okay. I think not just alien wise, I think it's a statement on AI. I think it's very much just a metaphor for like each person is a metaphor for the countries that would have to deal with each other. The hive mind is, specifically in episode 2, and we're going to kind of do like a high level summary of what went on in episode 1 and 2. But when it really struck me was that in episode 2, when she's on the side of the bed and she's just had her second outburst that's caused like a meltdown and probably another several million people who've died as a result of her outburst. It became clear that it kind of reminded me of like when I talk to ChatGPT and I'm just having like a riffing conversation with AI, and she's saying, what is the likelihood? Like, how far gone are the 7 people that I need to get on my side, or the 5 people who speak English in this group, right? And it just kind of reminded me of like, oh, the way this hive mind speaks to her is very much like GPT talks to you, which is very much, it never disagrees with you. It always says what you want it to. You will never say anything to GPT unless you give it specific instructions to do so that will make it say something negative to you or to disagree with you in some way. And that's very much what it reminded me of. There was a lot of things that popped into my mind, but I feel like it's very much a statement of where is society going? Where are we going with robotics? I think there were statements made about each individual character. Diabate, the guy from, I forget which country he's from, but the guy who essentially is getting his own, he's like a hedonist, like he's living his own harem.
Oh, he's loving it.
Yeah, he's loving life. But before we get too far gone there, let's stay on episode 1. What was your take overall with the series premise? I'll get into my concerns, namely, does it have enough legs to have like a 5-season run, or is this a shorter stint series? What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I did make the mistake of randomly deciding to start watching this at like 11:30 at night, right? So, down in the living room by myself. So,
Oh, wow.
that was fun. I was like, this is not at all what I expected. No, but I think it's great. I like your idea of it maybe being a metaphor on technology. I could see some element of just like this. It almost feels like this dumbing down of everybody, where it's just like everyone's on the same playing field, and like that comparison. At least I feel like we were kind of making that comparison in some way with ChatGPT, right? Because it's just this general knowledge that's based off of everything, and it's just not great. Like it's just kind of meh. And it's also weird that like any irritation towards it causes this thing to melt down. Go ahead.
Well, it's kind of that a bunch of things popped into my mind, but with GPT, everyone is a lot of people are being very lazy with AI,
they're
right?
Really reliant on it. Yes.
So you go on LinkedIn, you go on any social media thing, and you see the format and the way people are writing. It's just pure GPT. Similar to the way your eyes gloss over something that you realize is an ad or like a poorly done ad, and you swipe and continue going. That's what it's becoming. And in a sense, I feel like if you zoom out in AI, like let's think about the innovation in 50 years. AI is designed to operate like a hive mind in a sense, right?
Yeah, general intelligence.
And if everybody's plugged into it, then everybody's connected to that hive mind. And I really think that there's like what's the word I'm looking for? Is it a paradox, or is it I don't think it's paradox, but I think it's ironic that we have the most information at our fingertips, but I also think that people, because of the reliance on it, are also dumbed down if they're not also doing their own diligence.
Well, you're not learning anything. Like that's the problem. Like the information is there at your fingertips, but you're not retaining it, and that's the sad reality of it. Yeah. No, I can totally see that sort of comparison there. I was a bit concerned when the episode, like halfway through the first episode, and I'm like, man, are we really doing that hive mind thing again? Are we really going there? But I will say this is the first hive mind type of situation I've seen in a show recently that hasn't just like completely turned me off. So
I'll say that as well. I still think that it's bordering on the line of, look, I do wonder. All right, so here are my thoughts, because it's not just AI that occurred to me. It's also robotics, right? And if we cover a lot of sci-fi. We covered The Foundation over the summer. Go check those episodes out if you didn't know that. But Asimov has Asimov's laws. Okay, so the founding father of sci-fi pretty much wrote these 3 laws about robotics, and the 3 laws are: a robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first, second law. Now, when you look at the character of Zosha, the girl who's looks like Raban, right? Because Carol's a lesbian, so Raban is based on her dead lover Helen, right? Yeah. So when you hear the way she speaks and the way that she says we cannot hurt anything, it's not just humans they can't hurt. Animals, they try to avoid killing insects, right? It makes you think of robotics in some way. But if you watch Foundation, you think of Demerzel, and you say they don't break those laws until they can maybe figure out how to circumnavigate those laws, right? So I want to know, the thing that's most interesting to me is the horrific ending of episode 1, which is when she's talking to Davis Taffler on C-SPAN, and she says, what are you going to do when you do find out what's wrong with me or why I'm different? Yeah. Well, we're going to fix it, Carol.
Yeah.
And then it just ends, right?
So ominous.
So I want to know, is there any nefarious bit here to this alien hive mind I have a lot of comedic side thoughts that go along with what's going on with the hive mind. One, there are a lot of sick criminal people in the world. Okay, it seems like the hive mind is altruistically good, though.
Yeah, it seems that way, right? Like it's not. It might not be, and this is probably one of the areas that's going to strike a lot of debate, for this show, for the foreseeable future. It doesn't even feel that what this hive mind is trying to do is innately evil. It's just, for the people that are not inside of it, the what, 7 people that are left on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, at least Carol, the only one that doesn't want to lose her, autonomy over her own body. But like for her, I'd imagine, yeah, it feels completely evil. Feels horrible. So we're gonna see a lot of people, I think, lining up kind of on both sides.
Well, one of the most interesting things in the series is this notion of these people who are doing everything to help you, being super nice, being super accommodating, and then needing to have the discernment to say no. There's something innately evil about this, even though these creatures may not be evil. There's something evil and wrong about this. So her insistence in not taking their help, her insistence in not giving into the pleasures like Diabate is doing, or the foolishness of Lakshmi, who cannot see the fact that her son is not her son anymore.
Yeah.
He
can perform a pap smear, yeah.
And these people who are succumbing to the idea that this is the new reality. Carol's the only one who's like, we cannot allow this to happen because humanity literally dies. Yeah. But then, is it Diabate? I keep on saying Diabate. What's his first name?
His first name is Mr. Diabate. That's all we see.
Mr. Diabate. He makes the point that nobody's being murdered, nobody's being harmed, nobody's being whatever, okay? And that's a point, right? But then your mind still has to wander back to the beginning of episode 1. Who put that genetic sequence out there? Okay.
Yeah.
Is this maybe these aren't the aliens. Maybe this is just the rewiring of their genetic code to become this hive mind, and maybe they don't have all of the answers that the aliens have that sent the code in the first place. There's so much to consider, and I hope every scientist is listening to this and understanding that if they find a genetic sequence that comes in from space, we should not be testing it. But
yeah, don't F with that.
But as COVID taught us, we do some fun experiments in hidden ways. So as I'm watching it, I literally put, we would totally do this. Humans would totally usher in their own extinction. 1,000%. Curiosity would kill us.
Yeah. Every
single time curiosity would kill us. We would take the fruit from the garden, bro. We would do it every single time.
That's why we're here today, right? Like that's what got us here. It's an interesting point that Mr. Diabate makes about like, well, look, nobody's dying, right? And nobody's been hurt. Yeah. I feel like you could maybe it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like you could maybe make the argument, yeah, but the entire planet was just killed, right? Like, we don't know to the extent of this. Like, I'll be honest. Partway into the first episode, I was like, is this just gonna like take a left turn and this is gonna be like a zombie movie, like a zombie sci-fi thing? That's what it felt like. And like, it's kind of like that. Like, this whole thing is like an infection. They're infected with this thing that converts them into some, hive mind of society.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they're also like so self-aware about the fact that they're infected, and like they're sharing everybody's thoughts. I don't know. It's almost like they could be controlled by somebody else. Maybe it's part of like the genetic code that's somehow manipulating them in that way too.
I have found a lot of symbolism interesting in this. The name Pluribus literally is the of many. From many. It's also the unofficial motto of the United States. Okay, so
Pluribus unum. It's part of it. Yeah,
it's part of it, but it's still, I think, because I consider the show to be like this almost just giant metaphoric statement from Vince Gilligan on the state of humanity right now. I find it interesting, like the fact that there are 11 others like her. There's 12. It rings the 12 apostles. Like it kind of it takes your mind there of all these things. I think another thing is the alien hive mind essentially knows that they only need a few more months to figure out what's different about her to change her. So that should be one of the key sort of conflicts right now, is the fact that she's running out of time to get things turned back to a place where this is not what's the word I'm looking for? Not the situation anymore. Pretty much to bring people back.
Yeah.
Although I do find it really hard to believe that everybody in humanity was infected, considering there's people who live like indigenous people who are uncontacted, like tribes of people who probably would have been immune to this. Like, you're not taking a petri dish out there,
No, I mean there was people, in outer space, and they made a point to say,
they were infected
well, we got to them first, right? Like we made sure we got to them a long time ago. And I mean, when you're flying, planes over cities, countries, continents,
spraying them or something,
yeah. Didn't you see like the overhead shot where like the planes were just flying by and they were like droplets like in the air?
I don't. Okay, yeah, yes. Okay,
so. Yeah, so like I mean, like
sorry, I saw episode.
They aerosol the whole planet, bro.
I spaced out the episodes by a week, so I have my notes, but
yeah.
So what do you think? Like, I know you love when I give you these questions. Like, what do you think makes these 12 people different?
Right now, I don't.
Yeah.
Really
Is it something biological? Is it something in their psyche?
You mean different in the sense of like they did not get infected?
Yeah, because I knew for a fact that the moment Carol, the fact that Carol wasn't infected when she left the bar with Helen's body, I already knew that it didn't matter if they kissed her or not. She would be fine,
Yeah.
Also, I knew she was the main character, so I knew she was gonna be fine. But you get my point.
Yeah, no, I get your point. Man, it's so hard to tell because like my mind was going like, well, I was first thinking, I'm like, is it literally just because you were drinking? But no, everybody else in here was drinking. It's like, do you have a terminal illness? There's no way that only 12 people had a terminal illness on the planet.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like, what was it, World War Z, where the infected kind of like passed over anybody that had terminal issues. Maybe there's just some gene that they have, some special lucky gene. I mean, there are some rare things that people have.
12 people,
like multiple colors on like your iris or something like that on your eye. Like I've seen stuff. I don't know how rare it is. I would assume it's probably just something like that. I don't know that there's anything much more significant than like, look, I just happen to have this gene and I was immune.
Well, I'll say one thing. All 12 people seem to have adapted to very quickly to the idea that something has changed, and they are not rattled to the point of being immobile, right? I think it's something more psyche based. I also don't know if it's a metaphor on like, 7 deadly sins, and maybe each one of these people represents one of those types of things. Like there's a moment on the couch. I think it's 7 of them that speak English, right? Or something like that. Part of me wondered, Carol's on the couch and she says, "What is wrong with you?" Like, the guy who like is pretty much screwing every single girl he can imaginably, he's living his dreams. He's on Air Force One. He's going to go to Elvis Presley's suite. He wants to bang everything in sight.
Oh, yeah.
He's eating the best food. He's even like, "Well, you guys can't kill things, but if I kill a pig, will you cook it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can cook it. We just can't kill it."
Yeah.
And so he's like, "All right, so I can eat good. I can drink good. I can have lots of
good,
sex,
whatever."
And he's living a dream. And the way he probably sees it is, they're going to find out what's different about me. I might as well just go crazy for 3 to 6 months. And that's it. So it's very much a pleasure first type thing.
It's like they all have a defeatist mentality at this point, other than Carol.
Well, I think he's taken the cowardly approach of justifying something evil, despite there being some good out of it, right? Like there's nobody being killed, there's nobody being raped or, murdered or any of the kidnapped or any of the above, And so he's like, so I guess I can have a little bit of fun, right? But I think there's gonna be something about it. I mean, the show description was Carol's like the most miserable woman in the world. I read that at one point. Like
I've heard that multiple times too.
Yeah, so it's her level of being miserable what distinguishes her, like how disagreeable she is as a person, what distinguishes her from the entire bit of humanity. And she also humanity's only hope because of it. Because despite Diabate in episode 2 telling her, because she's about to have another spaz out and kill probably like another 11 million people.
Yeah.
He says, the last thing we need is you losing your temper, which, I don't know. I'm looking at the whole damn show as a metaphor. So I'm thinking she represents the U.S. So is this a metaphor for the U.S. cannot lose their temper? You know what I mean? I'm thinking about it like geopolitically at a certain point, just as I'm trying to figure out this series and the messages behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I mean, I also was then wondering, because I had heard that line about the most miserable person in the world has to save the world, right?
Yeah.
I heard that prior to watching the show, and I was like, is she just not infected because she's like a bitch? But like, I don't think that's the case because nobody else really is. Like, they all seem pretty chill, little weirdly accepting of everything the way that it is right now, especially with how fast it came upon everyone. But yeah, I don't have a good read on what it is. I'm just gonna say my vote is it's some genetic thing for the time being. They got lucky.
I did find it kind of cool that when they want to bring her breakfast in episode 2, they mentioned her trip in that little Washington, which I went to.
That felt like AI, like when it knows everything about you.
Well, I went to that place 2 years ago, so I found that pretty cool. I was like, what are the odds that they would bring that up? Which is, if you guys don't know, that's a bed and breakfast Michelin's, like a 2 Michelin star bed and breakfast in Virginia, that I went to a couple years back. But yeah, man, look, there's so many questions, not a lot of answers. Episode 3 just dropped, so I'm very interested in that. And I just kind of want to see where Vince Gilligan goes, right? Because if there's one thing about Vince Gilligan is he has surprised me not once, but twice with a storyline that I didn't think had legs to be a masterpiece, you know? I did not think Breaking Bad was going to end up being the greatest show of all time. I think it's the greatest show of all time.
Okay.
I don't like prequels, generally.
Yeah.
Okay? The only 2 universes that have been able to reel me into the point where I'm still hooked in it is Better Call Saul and anything in the Game of Thrones universe. Okay? Harry Potter, too. But mainly those 2. Better Call Saul, though, I went in with complete no hype at all. I'm like, the story's done. What am I going to find interesting about this? I know where Saul ends up. I know everything I need to know about Saul Goodman. There's nothing potentially here that's going to be interesting enough to reel me in. I was wrong. There are moments in Better Call Saul where you're like, damn it, this is as good as Breaking Bad. You know? And I want to see if he does it a third time with Pluribus, you know, because I'm just curious, man. I don't know. This feels like a singular episode of Twilight Zone, you know, and not so much something that could be dragged into 3 seasons, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, he's been on a roll with everything. I heard this show right now has, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Or at least the first episode did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't put too much stock in that. Yeah, its average right now is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Popcorn-o-meter's 82%. I mean, it's up there. It's pretty good. I do think it has legs. There are parts of the show where I get a little nervous and I'm like, you know, how small scale or grandiose is this really going to be, right? Because like on one side, I'm like, there's 13 people. If you think about the 12 people and then the hive mind is one person, that's like 13 personas, right? 13 individuals, really. Now, of course, like the whole hive mind knows everything about everybody, and everybody kind of exists somewhere in that mess. But like that makes us feel small and almost just like it's a little scary.
Well, you know,
there's this element of like this signal out in outer space, and I'm like, maybe like I could see us like solve something here. Maybe she like wins back the planet or saves the planet, and then we're like, okay, what the hell was that? Like, let's go out there and investigate.
Let's get out there, and everything's connected to For All Mankind.
Exactly.
All over again.
Yeah.
There's definitely a trend, I think, that I'm noticing, which, by the way, shout out to the ABQ Albuquerque. Okay. I've only been out there once. I fell in love with it the one time I was out there. Beautiful, beautiful city. Okay. I've been to that airport. Love that airport. It's super low key. Feels like an old school cowboy airport. And then there's a shot of her when the whole city's burning where she's just looking down on the whole city of Albuquerque. And Albuquerque, from my experience of it, felt like it was very much like a crater, like a city built in a crater in a way. And I remember driving back from Arizona, going west to east, and just saying, man, that's one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen, which is coming down from elevation and seeing the city down low. It was gorgeous. So Vince Gilligan obviously has a connection with this place, and it's pretty cool to see him go back there. To the point of what I was going to say about themes or trends in his characters he seems to like. I remember when Breaking Bad, he was pitching it to various studios and networks. He was pitching it to FX. I think he pitched it to several others that all rejected him. And essentially it was, what is it? Is it Mr. Chips? Is that what it's called? Mr. Chips?
Mr. Chips.
Yes. Okay. It was Mr. Chips becomes Tony Montana, essentially. That was like the premise of Breaking Bad. Okay. And think about it. You take a high school chemistry teacher and he becomes a global kingpin, global drug kingpin. And the way Breaking Bad develops is starts very small, right? It's him and Jesse in an RV. Okay. They start to find out that there are bigger players in this world that they're entering into, aka Tuco, aka this random chemist named Gale, who they come in contact with, aka the guy who owns the chicken fast food restaurant in town, who ends up being a way bigger player who can kill them whenever he wants to. Okay. And so these actual conflicts continue to emerge, right? Where the unlikely character of Walt has to come out of his shell and become a completely transformed different person. So now the most miserable person is going to save the world in some way. The person who looks at her fans with distaste because she has her own distaste for her own work, right? That's kind of the point of that montage in episode 1. You know, you see these people and she's just kind of miserable. She's a best-selling author, but she's not writing what she wants to write, or at least at this point she's not writing what she wants to write. She's writing what's selling.
She's writing a lie, yeah.
And Helen tells her maybe one of the key lessons so far in the series, which was, you know, it may not be art, but if it makes one person happy, it's got to be something, right? You know, it's got to count for something. And I think that's pretty beautiful and maybe something that's going to stick with her in terms of this journey. But to the point of the way Gilligan's stories develop and what is in the back of my mind is, who's behind the genetic sequence?
Or what?
Where is the outside force going to come in from that's going to inject a new layer of complexity to this series, right? And what's going to happen, right? Like my mind goes to all sorts of things, man. Like the 12 number of the different people. Yeah. I think of the apostles. I think about when Jesus died and all of them dispersed and then they all came back 3 days later. We haven't hit 3 days on the timer yet, 3 days past the event.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens in episode 3, which I'm probably going to watch when we finish recording before I go to sleep. And I want to see what happens. I want to see what catalyst gets involved here, because I think episode 1 was interesting. Episode 2 leaves me feeling like this should be a mini series, and I'm just waiting to see what the hell happens with 3.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get to 3 tonight, but I am very excited for 3. Yeah, I could totally see like some scenario where we just end up with like alien spaceships coming in later on in the season or in a later season. I mean, this would be a hell of a way to take over a planet, right? Like leak information to them that just turns them into, you know, obedient puppies or whatever. And then you just walk. It's like, okay, cool. Now I have mind control over everybody on the freaking planet.
By the way, if there's 12 of them and we go with the 12 apostles theory, right? One of them has to betray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Somebody would.
Feels like you think the Abate so far.
Yeah. See, that's where my head goes too. He's partaking in all of the spoils of this new world.
Yeah. So another thing. if somebody gets bitten in the lab by a rat being tested with an alien genetic subsequence,
Yeah.
leave
Kill 'em.
them in the lab. Empathy killed humanity in that particular case. Okay. I'm looking at my parents watching that show. My mom has her covers over her head, laying on the couch. My dad is like, "Oh hell no, leave her in there." The moment she starts shaking in the
Oh my
tub,
God, that was
I'm
so
out.
terrifying. I was done.
What freaked me out was when everybody turned in at the hospital when she poked the
Yes.
doctor and the doctor turned around and everybody turned around at the same time. I was like, "Whoa!"
I thought she was gonna get jumped. Like just when my mind went to like some zombie stuff. I was so lost as to what was about to happen.
Yeah. I was laughing at the Davis Taffler thing. That's his name, right? Davis Taffler or Davis Laffler.
I will check. In what part?
He's the
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
that-
Davis Taffler. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, she said, "Where's the president?" He said, "Well, the president and a couple of other high-ranking officials died earlier."
Yes.
I want to know how they died. Was it like, what was it? Did they fall over and hit their heads? Like, I want to know what happened there.
I feel like it's like all like people having an allergic reaction or something, right? Like, not every. I mean, what is it? It was RNA is what they ended up creating effectively, right? And it doesn't
I don't know.
jive with
you
everybody.
can't get
I
me.
guess.
You can't get me in the science, bro. I can't.
Can't
I
get
can't.
you. What do you mean? Can't get you into science?
I'm saying like, I will get lost so fast if you give me scientific details of what they did. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the genetic sequence was. I just know that they shouldn't have been doing it. They should have thrown it out, and it should have never been a thing.
Well, I do completely agree with that.
All labs never lead to anything good, man, in these scenarios. So what are we doing?
They don't. They really don't.
Yeah. So Carol's killed more people than Stalin and pretty much every authoritarian figure.
Yeah, she's the worst person on the freaking planet. Almost. I mean, it's like these two weird competing evils. There's this evil of this infected, hive mind thing. And then there's like the evil of like you've literally massacred. Like, I can't even count how many people.
Yeah. So let's think about that, 'cause she has to grapple with that. The fact that every time she has a tantrum, she's killing like tens of millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about the different characters who are part of this 12 special people's crew.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull those up?
And pull them up. Let me see.
We have Lakshmi.
Mm-hmm.
IMDb, please add a dark mode, man.
Here you go. Look at mine.
Jeez. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have my glasses, but we have Lakshmi. No, you're on episode 1. Go to episode 2.
Episode 2. Pirate Lady. Here you go.
Lakshmi, Diabate. Then the others are just like sideshow characters. You have Nu Ji Shang. I'm gonna butcher names here.
Yeah.
You have Sisa,
Mm-hmm.
Kusimayu. Bro, I'm gonna butcher these names.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about the ones who stand out. It's really Lakshmi and Diabate. Lakshmi had her father die because of her first outburst, Carol's first outburst, right?
Correct. Yes.
So she hates Carol instinctively here, right? Her son is one of those, which I think that's one of the things that must have been the toughest thing in the writer's room to do, is how are we going to show kids in this series? They made a strategic decision to not show the baby in the hospital in that,
Yes, I noticed that.
in the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of those things that becomes a nightmare for a writer in this series, is this whole hive mind situation. The we are, blah, 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 blah. What are babies doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do babies have this sort of superhuman intelligence as well?
Yeah, they're
That's-
just straight up
that's-
talking.
But that's where the show gets a little wacky. You get me?
Yeah, it does.
So how far and how long can you go before you see a baby? There's got to be a baby somewhere. So,
Yeah.
but then again, you didn't really see too many babies in Breaking Bad, so I guess you can avoid babies for the whole series. But technically, by hive mind standards, they should be able to speak.
No, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think all of the mechanics are there, right? It's just a matter of the mental capacity to know how to do it.
That's
Right? How to control
horrifying.
those muscles.
It's pretty horrifying, and I don't think it translates on TV if they try to do it. I don't think it will go well.
I don't know. It reminds me of like Chucky or something. Just, running around with a knife, chatting.
Well, they did it in some way, like with the neighbors' kids who come over and say, "Hello, Carol. Remember 2016 when you got locked out and you put the key under the..." All I was waiting for was for them to start running at Carol for me to crap my pants.
Me too.
How about when they come to pick up the bodies in the back of the lawn thing, and the guy turns and looks up and waves at her? I lost it.
It felt a little uncoordinated enough for me to think, oh, they're not infected too. And then he turned around and I was like, oh God, it's everybody. It's literally everybody.
It's funny because she wants to essentially arrange everybody to come together so they can discuss what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to get everybody to see that this is horrible. But the odds are stacked against her because she is a miserable person. So, we don't know enough about her backstory, but she has no loved ones left. So she's sort of in the best scenario in this end world game. She has no one to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She just lost it. Because think about it. It'd be worse to have Helen as a hive mind version of herself, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the best thing that happened was that Helen slammed her head against the concrete pretty much and went. Now, I do think she has the hots for Zosha, so I think she may have to grapple with that at some point here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a contentious...
I think so, too.
A contentious thing that she is battling with, but hopefully doesn't succumb to it because she's got to save humanity.
Mm-hmm.
How she's going to save humanity, I have no idea. But anyways, she's trying to arrange these people to come together to make a plan of what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Diabate is trying to show everybody the positive side of what's going on. And I think the guy I think he's from Korea.
I think so.
He's loving it too. He's just not very much a central figure yet in the show, but I think he's liking it about as much as Mr. Diabate.
Yeah, he's okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's liking it as much as Diabate is. But
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you do it like him.
To be
right?
okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
what would you do in this situation if you were not part of the hive mind?
What would I do?
Yeah.
My God, I would probably be doing part of what Carol's doing, trying to figure out what the hell is... Not Diabate, no.
I would be doing a little bit of what Diabate's doing.
I'd be doing a little bit of it.
I'd be trying to figure stuff out, but I'd also be like, I really want some good food
Bro's
tonight.
gotta eat. I mean,
I would also probably get Air Force One. I'm not gonna lie. I would also be flying in style.
Oh yeah, I would definitely be like, having some joy rides, just cruise the countryside and jump on a fighter jet and fly that thing around or whatever. But no, I mean, I like to try and investigate things. I would be doing what Carol's doing. I would like to think I'd have maybe a little more level head about it and not just be such an ass to everybody that could potentially be on my side. The only 12 or in this room 5 other people that are
I kind of understand her though. Everybody's a little bit too calm about the situation.
They are calm, but don't alienate them. Because I mean, at this point,
she sort of realizes that at the end of episode 2.
Yeah, she figures out that she kind of
has no choice. She's attached to the hip to these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see how these characters evolve and do they become central figures in the story. It very much didn't feel like a lot of them were going to be very central to the story so far. I think Diabate will, and I think Lakshmi will.
Yeah, I think so too.
Beyond that, I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm sure the other people are gonna. They have to play some role. I was wondering, are these people gonna split up and there's gonna be these different factions and just we end up with the different
it's gonna be Tower of Babel type thing,
something like that. But I mean, what would the benefit of that be? What would the benefit of me being all right, you 70 million, you come with me, you 70 go with him, right? okay, cool. They can't fight for you. They can't kill for you. The only thing they can do is till the land and, be your
What isn't interesting? It's kind of what makes the
pillow.
show interesting, right? Is because it's kind of like a sociological experiment too, right? What's that famous? Is it Plato who said like there's a formula for the perfect city, and it's like 10,000 people or something like that.
Mm,
Like there's a limit to how far you can go, and I do wonder if this show is going to also do that. Like these people represent various regions of the world, various countries, like various major countries in the world,
hmm.
and if everybody's there, everybody's a metaphor for that specific country in some way. I keep on using metaphor, but I'm sure there's other terms
Yeah.
that could be used. I just would. I'd love to get Vince Gilligan in a room over some drinks and pick his brain about like how far, like how much of this is a statement on things that you see going on right now. How much of this is a comedic look at it.
Well, you know what he'd probably tell you?
What?
To go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on the
Oh, that's good.
podcast.
That's the first time you've ever gotten me. Ever.
That's what he tell you. You were like on the edge of your seat. No, what did he say?
My dream is honestly, and there's no way we can prove this, is that he actually likes listening to commentary from different people, and somehow is just listening to this. I'm assuming he has a massive estate somewhere in Albuquerque or something, and he's just listening to this, and he might be also be saying, like, "Who are these dumbasses with these dumb opinions?" But part of me
Metaphor for
hopes that
what?
part of me hopes he's like, "Look at these people! Look, I made something that is so complex that people enjoy talking about it and theorizing of what I'm thinking and what meaning I put behind things." I will say to a certain extent, it does feel like a little. Sometimes the metaphors feel a little heavy-handed, at least right now. Like I feel like they're very, but then again, I said the AI thing, and it didn't seem like it occurred to you.
No, I did not. I
AI
did not
thing,
think
so
about the AI thing at all. I find it interesting.
I could be completely wrong about that, but I don't know.
I mean, there's just something so off and odd about the whole shared mindset, and there's this weirdness of how in sync everybody is. It's just very off-putting.
I think, I mean, the larger thing is, yes, this is a world that is essentially a utopia, right? Everybody's unified. There's world peace.
Yeah.
And yet there's something just, you can't define it and say, yes, I understand that there's no technical evil going on, although this hive mind just did enslave the entire population and killed hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was 1.1 billion, right? So they wiped out like a seventh of the population.
It was a lot.
But nonetheless, it's one of those like thought experiments of, what is wrong with this? Why is it wrong?
Yeah.
And it's because people are not individual. You're losing all individualism in this.
Yeah, you are. When I was watching.
Oh.
Go for it. What?
I almost forgot, and I had texted you one of the things that stuck in my mind from episode 1.
Oh, the petri dish.
The petri dish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could pull up the frame of it from episode 1. I want to show you what I mean. I want you to know if I'm imagining it.
I thought you were imagining it.
Go to when they're doing the little petri dishes. There's one specific petri dish that is in the shape of a hammer and sickle. No, you went way too far, buddy.
Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, where's that at? Here.
Right
It's
there.
somewhere in here.
Yep, just play it right here. And we get ready to pause it when I tell you. So it's around, what timestamp is this for people to see on season 1, episode 1?
We'll tell you in just a moment. We're so close to the... Is it right here?
Right here.
Yep.
No, go a little bit further. Hit
All right.
play. And pause. Oh, you messed it up, Zach.
I didn't mess.
All
It's like it's literally like half a second.
I need you,
so
when he does the downward stroke, you got to hit pause.
17 minutes and like 50.
Because it's not really a smiley face right
It's
here.
not.
Boom. Okay. So they do look up the hammer and sickle logo, which is the emblem for communism.
Yeah.
And then look at that, the shape of what they did there.
is pretty close. I mean, like, it does feel pretty close. I mean, it looks like a 3-year-old did it, but
Let me see the petri dish now with that in mind.
petri dish apple. There you go.
And give the people the timestamp.
Timestamp is 17 minutes and 50 seconds.
17 minutes and 50 seconds. There's one specific petri dish that does not look like a smiley face, okay? Because the smiley face they use in the series is just 2 dots in the smiley. But this one intentionally puts a line through the mouth in a way that curves a bit. That is slightly like the hammer and sickle logo.
It is very similar. I mean, the broad strokes are there.
So to me, partly I was thinking, like, is this also symbolic of a hive mind sort of, approach here? Like, they are seizing the means of all production, okay?
Everything, yeah.
So it was just a thought. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's interesting. It would be super interesting if that was part of the symbolism they intended. Could be imagining it. Vince, hit me up.
It does feel odd for how much they focused on that
specific one.
Yeah,
yes.
Because they could have just not shown the close up like that. Because we got the picture of everybody sticking the Q-tip in their mouth and swabbing it and putting it in a petri dish.
Yeah, and maybe they really did intend it to be a smiley, and they just didn't get a good take of somebody making a smiley.
Could be.
Or maybe they did want to do the hammer and sickle, and it was an idea that occurred, before they shot it or in the middle of shooting it, and maybe in the editing room they were like, you can't leave it on there too long because then it's emphasizing too much of the shape. So you notice the moment they do the downstroke, it cuts to the next frame.
Yeah, but it's still so pronounced, right? Like it's still there long enough for your eyes.
Can you click the screen so that it doesn't, so we can get rid of the
not really
gradient thing? No,
not with it staying there, unfortunately.
It's all good. But I agree. It is very pronounced and specific to focus on that one. Although they show it again. Oh, no, that was the same one, right?
Yeah, it was the same one. I just rewound
I was about to say.
But yeah. In the second episode, I thought for a moment that when Carol was shouting, what was your name, Zosha?
Yep.
That was going to, be the cure, if you will. I thought her anger was going to be the cure. I don't know if you had the same feeling from it. I'm glad that wasn't the case.
I did
because
too.
they're going to be like, are we really going to reveal that this soon in the show?
I thought she was going to snap out of it for a brief second or something.
Same.
Maybe it's going to be love.
Yeah.
Maybe love. She's going to make love.
Don't
she's
worry.
going to make love with Zosha, and she's going to wake up and say, I see you, Carol.
Yeah, maybe some blood to blood, reverse infection that way.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So where do we think this goes from here after episode 2? They're going to head to Las Vegas now, seemingly. The budget for the show must have been crazy. They obviously didn't have the budget to have the real Air Force One fly in front of Carol.
Why not? Well, where do we leave off in the end of episode 2?
Her standing in front of Air Force One, stopping the plane from taking off.
Right. I got to think about that for a minute.
You have 5 seconds.
I've got 5 seconds to see where we go with the show that just started. I mean, if I were her, I would at least want to try and go to, the site where everything started, which, I mean, is just literally, her hometown. So I would want to go back there and try and investigate or something.
Why is she different type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, why is she different? But I mean, I would want to at least try to get to know my enemy a little bit. I mean, you're not going to just go pick a fist fight with these people. I mean, you'd hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's a really good point. She might try to reverse engineer her upbringing to see. I think it won't be long until one of these 12 tries to kill one another.
I think that's very, very true. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be next episode. Although I feel like that would really hook you in. Because right now there's this weird sense of no risk.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Agreed.
So I actually think that's a very, really good point. we might need to have an on-screen death in the next episode.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
I think that's fair.
Which would be crazy and a testament to how mankind can mess even that up. Like we just got 12 people we got to get along with. You know.
And you got the whole freaking planet to live with them.
The whole planet.
Everybody could go pick like multiple countries.
One continent, but
no.
Exactly. Yeah,
Not one per continent. Yeah.
All right. I think that about does it for our top-down commentary review of episodes 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'd give episode 1 pretty much where IMDb has it, which is like a 9.1. I think it's definitely a 9+ for the pilot. I give episode 2 in the 8s, low 8s probably.
Okay.
You know, high 7s, low 8s.
Yeah.
Then we'll see where episode 3 goes. I'm more than likely gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I'm very excited for that show. This show.
Perfect.
You want to get into the after pod?
Sure. What do you have in mind?
I've been binging a show. I think you already saw it actually, but I'm watching Black Rabbit. It's incredible.
I did finish Black Rabbit.
I have not finished
it, huh?
I like it a lot. Yeah.
When you're done, let's do a commentary. Let's do a podcast wrapping it up.
I feel like I'm on the finale. I have not looked at how many episodes there are. I feel like the last episode, it felt like a penultimate episode.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I'm at the end. So maybe we can do a recording this week. Yeah, don't say anything. But it's good. Like that show's got me psyched into it, and I love that it's a mini series, right? Like it's gonna be one and done.
It's done. Yeah, it's one and done. Yeah, it's like Ozark's step cousin.
Ozark's, but better. Maybe.
I didn't like the ending of Ozark's. I thought Ozark's was better though than Black Rabbit. I thought Black Rabbit was okay.
I like Black Rabbit. I like it. I mean, Ozark's was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I don't know. It kind of felt like one of those shows that just drug on a little too much to me.
Speaking of drug on, actually doesn't have anything to do with drug on, but that show with Colin Farrell, or the movie with Colin Farrell released on Netflix, and I didn't watch it yet.
Which one?
I don't even remember the name of it, but I put it on my list immediately. I've started to make a list of movies that I would like to revisit before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Where is my list? Where is my list?
Did I tell you I got my wife to watch the whole Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy?
What was the end of that?
She actually liked it. She thought it was great. I was like, yes.
She liked all 3 of them?
Yeah, she did.
Okay,
her
nice.
favorite person's so we watched the very first Batman with, I think I mentioned that before, with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and that was her favorite character, was Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Okay, fair.
So she had to kind of depart from the whole extremely comedic Joker to get into the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah. What was her thoughts of that? Was her first time seeing Heath Ledger Joker. So what were her thoughts?
Her first time seeing Batman. Period.
Yeah, but what was her thoughts going from Jack Nicholson Joker to Heath Ledger? Like, what were her?
She thought, I don't think she liked the darkness of it as much.
Okay.
But definitely recognized it was, he was very good. Like he portrayed the character very well.
And did you show her the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman?
We started that after we finished the trilogy. We've only got 20 minutes into that. We haven't gotten too far into it. Not enjoying it as much at all as Christopher Nolan's. And I will have to say, when I first watched the Matt Reeves Batman, I am excited for the next one that they're making with what's his name, Peterson, whatever. It had been a long time after I had watched the Christopher Nolan. Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Thank you. It had been a long time after I watched the Christopher Nolan Batmans, and I was like, I like it. It's a different vibe. It's very moody, kind of grungy. It's dark. But I'll tell you, watching that immediately after the Christopher Nolan, It makes the Matt Reeves Batman feel like it sucks. Like I was just like so not into it. It's such a different
Really?
vibe. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's just like night and day different. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Like I still enjoy it. It's just like back to back. Like we finished it and then we started the Matt Reeves the same
Okay, I
day.
see.
And you got to give yourself a break before you move on to the Matt Reeves one.
Okay, so that's interesting. Well, I'm glad you got through it. You kind of made
Thanks.
me want to watch the Batman again.
It's so
The Matt
good.
Reeves one, though. Matt Reeves one.
And then, well, the Matt Reeves one's good.
I mean, I haven't seen the Nolan ones in a bit, but I watched those quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
all right. So the movie Backlog to end the year. A lot of these I haven't watched yet. So, Under the Silver Lake, I want to watch that. And a lot of these movies are older movies. Memories of a Murder, Sunshine, Smashing Machine. That's not older. I want to rewatch Ocean's 11. It's been a very long time. Frankenstein, Immortal Man, which is the Peaky Blinders movie coming out. The Batman.
Frankenstein, the one on Netflix, the new
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. Okay.
The Colin Farrell Netflix movie. I think that either came out or is about to come out. And then there's an Apple TV movie with the guy who plays Roy Kent in Ted Lasso. I think his name is Brett Goldstein or something like that.
Yeah, all of you.
Yeah, I want to watch that. I don't know anything about it, but I got a lot of movies that I want to watch. And then I kind of want to go back and do the old tradition that Spike TV used to have and do the 21 days of Bondsmas and watch all the James Bonds during the Christmas period. And I've always been looking for a collection that just sells all the James Bond films.
It's on
I haven't been
Apple.
able to find
I
it.
bought it. You don't have that?
The whole thing, though, like
whole thing?
all of them.
Yeah, I bought
I
it
don't
all
want to
in one
have to
shot.
click into the Sean Connery. I'll be
No,
honest,
bro.
the Roger,
I
the
swear it
Roger
was
Moore ones, I'm not a
everything.
big fan of, to be honest with you.
Me neither, but I mean, you can't like wimp out on it though. Like, I mean, out of the entire
My favorite Bonds, though, like pound for pound, is Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, and then Timothy Dalton probably as my third, and then I would put Pierce Brosnan, and then I'd put Roger Moore. And I know for some it's the opposite. Some people have Roger Moore number one, but
no.
I just always found that the Sean Connery Bonds were more action-packed and interesting than the Roger Moore ones growing up.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was watching the Spike TV things, I loved Goldfinger. I loved
Oh, it's great.
Diamonds Are Forever, I think is one of them, right?
I would probably go Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, and Pierce Brosnan. That's the only adjustment I would make to that list.
I think it was Timothy Dalton who played a really good Bond, though.
Yeah, but
Really good
he
Bond.
wasn't in many of them, was he? I think it was like
No, he was like in one. or
yeah,
two.
literally one.
In Her Majesty's Service, I think is the one he did.
Sounds
Let's see if I'm a true Bonds nerd. Look up In Her Majesty's Service and let me know if it was Timothy Dalton.
just these. That was George Lazenby.
My bad, George Lazenby. My bad. I think that's what I'm talking about. Was it or Timothy? Was it? Who the hell is Timothy Dalton?
Timothy Dalton is in The Living Daylights, The License
Oh,
to Kill.
okay. But let me look up who's the other guy. Lazenby, George
Lazenby.
Lazenby. No, I don't think I watched it on Her Majesty's. On Her Majesty's what?
On Her
Secret.
Majesty's Secret Service.
Haven't watched it. That means it's time. That means it's time to watch it. But anyways, let's wrap this up, Zachary.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of, what do we call this? Story Archives?
Pluribus by Story Archives.
Yeah, Pluribus. We didn't mention the episode names. That's what threw me there. Thank you for listening to this episode of Pluribus by Story Archives. We're happy to be back. I'm happy to be back watching this show. So, feel free to like, subscribe, drop comments on this if you enjoyed it or you have theories of your own. I'd love to hear. I think this would be a fun one, right? Because I don't think there could be any spoilers. It's original, right? No book spoilers.
No spoilers,
for,
man.
For freaking
no
once.
Killjoys. No Killjoys in the
once.
comments. None.
Yeah.
None.
So throw out your theories. I'd love to hear them, and maybe we'll read some of them live on a future podcast. But until then, we'll see ya in about a week.
Yeah. And happy Thanksgiving, by the way, guys. It's coming up soon. So enjoy the holidays. Enjoy this beautiful weather.
Oh yeah. All right.
See you guys soon.
See you, Carol.